The story of the wise blacksmith. Once upon a time, many centuries ago, there lived a wise and kind blacksmith in a village. He lived with his young son in a small, old house. The house had only 2 rooms, one where the father and son lived, and the other was used as a stable for their horse. This horse was no ordinary horse. It was magnificent and of a very rare breed. Years ago, the blacksmith had been given this horse when it was just a foal, and he raised it like his own child. He always said he had 2 sons, not 1. As the horse grew, its beauty became the talk of the entire village. People came from far and wide just to admire the horse, and couldn't stop praising it. After some time, a wealthy man from a neighboring village heard about this horse. He loved collecting horses, so one day he came to the blacksmith's house to see it. He was so impressed that he offered the blacksmith any price for the horse. But the blacksmith kindly refused, saying, "This horse is like my son, and a father does not sell his children." The wealthy man, disappointed, left the house, grumbling and insulting the blacksmith as he went. Later, some villagers came to the blacksmith and said, "You are a poor man. How long can you keep such a fine horse? You should sell it when you can get a good price. What if one day someone steals it from you?" The blacksmith simply smiled and thanked them, showing them the door. The blacksmith had great respect for wise and spiritual people. Whenever he met someone who seemed knowledgeable, he would listen carefully to their words. One day, the same wealthy man sent a fake sage to the blacksmith. This man came dressed as a holy man and told the blacksmith, "I know a secret about your horse. It comes from an ancient breed that only brings luck to rich people. These horses can bring bad fortune to young men in the family." He tried to scare the blacksmith, adding, "These horses can change a man's fate, but fate does not always follow a straight line." The blacksmith listened carefully and replied, "Whatever is in my fate is known only to God. I trust His will, and if this horse is a test, I am ready for it. But I will not sell it because I raised it like my own son." The fake sage's plan failed, and he left, defeated. However, the blacksmith could not stop thinking about the sage's words. He wondered if there was indeed some hidden secret about his horse. One morning, the blacksmith and his son woke up and saw that the door to the stable was open. The horse was gone! Frantically, they searched everywhere, but there was no sign of the horse. The blacksmith sent his son to look for it in the forests and mountains, but after days of searching, the horse could not be found. While the son was returning home, the wealthy man's servants attacked him, beat him up, and left him injured. The villagers came to offer their sympathy to the blacksmith, but some of them said, "We told you to sell the horse. Now you've lost both the horse and your son's health. This is bad luck." The blacksmith listened calmly and said, "Thank you for your concern, but I don't understand why you call this bad luck. Yes, the horse is gone, and yes, my son is injured. But how can you be so sure that this is misfortune? The villagers were shocked and whispered to each other, "Maybe the old man has lost his mind. How can this not be bad luck?" 3 days later, something surprising happened. The horse returned home, but not alone. It brought 5 other strong and healthy horses from the forest with it. The entire village was amazed. The people who had mocked the blacksmith earlier now congratulated him, saying, "We were wrong. Losing your horse was not bad luck. It was good fortune. Now you are the owner of 6 horses." The blacksmith listened with a puzzled expression and replied, "Thank you for your kind words, but I don't see why you call this good luck. Yes, the horse came back with 5 more, but how is this fortunate?" The villagers were confused again. They thought the blacksmith had become foolish. They muttered to themselves and left. With 6 horses now in their care, the blacksmith and his son had more work to do. Then one day, a wild horse became angry and threw the blacksmith's son to the ground, breaking his leg. The blacksmith remained calm, but the fake sage's words echoed in his mind. When the villagers heard the news, they came rushing to the blacksmith's house. Some of them said, "You were right, old man. These new horses are not good luck. We are sorry for your son." The blacksmith sighed and said, "Friends, you blame everything on fate too quickly. Yes, my son broke his leg. But how do you know this is a misfortune? Only God knows what will happen next." 2 weeks later, war broke out between their country and a neighboring kingdom. The king ordered that all young men be drafted into the army. Soldiers came to the village and took all the young men except the blacksmith's son, who couldn't fight because of his injury. The villagers, now crying and fearful, came to the blacksmith again. They said, "You were the wisest all along. Your son's injury was not bad luck, but a blessing. Our sons may never return from the war, but your son will recover soon and stay with you." The blacksmith sympathized with them and said, "Friends, if you understood the truth, you wouldn't be upset. I believe that every life test has a hidden wisdom behind it, known only to God." Weeks later, peace returned to the land. The king, visiting villages to see how his people were doing, invited the villagers to his palace. They told him the story of the blacksmith, how his horse was lost and returned with 5 others, how his son was injured but saved from the war. The king was impressed by the blacksmith's calmness in every situation. The king called the blacksmith and asked, "How do you stay so patient and wise, no matter what happens?" The blacksmith bowed and said, "My wisdom comes from the tests life has given me. I have learned that every event, whether joyful or sad, is a test. We should not be proud in happiness or despair in sadness. True wisdom is to accept God's will with peace." The king, moved by his words, made the blacksmith the chief of his village and gifted him a new house, a stable, and servants to care for his horses. Moral: accept every situation in life with patience. True happiness comes from trusting the wisdom behind every event, whether good or bad. Hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, please like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.